Hello there, and welcome to the Stay Off My Lawn podcast, where we'll have a little fun, lots of laughs, and discussions on the common sense that needs to be applied to a lot of today's world news issues. And now, the disclaimer. Stay Off My Lawn is not intended as legal, medical, or financial advice. Void where prohibited. No purchase necessary to win. Open to legal U.S. residents 18 or over in the contiguous 48 states. Any resemblance to anyone living or deceased is purely coincidental. Actual price may vary. Only use as directed. Not a member of FDIC. And now, here are your hosts, Mike and Richard. Yes, we're back. And no, Brad, I'm not going to change our intro to put your name on there.
It's okay. It's okay.
Hello.
I understand.
And as if you folks have noticed, yes, our wonderful guest host from last week is back. So hello, and here's what Brad and Richard are talking about on this week's episode number 156 of the Stay Off My Lawn podcast. It's Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. Brad, thanks again for volunteering and helping out. Mike thought he'd be able to, and he waited until Sunday night to go, yeah, I want to. Funny thing is, my body says no.
Well, the bottom line is, Mike, you always have to realize that I have your back. So I've known you for a while, very long time, actually, in the VO world, so to speak. And I got your back, bro. So, hang tight, get better, and get ready to punch every day in the face.
Yeah, those four surgeons that were working on him did a lot of rooting around in there, and that just takes time to recover from. So today he said he was feeling fairly well, just was kind of chilly. So is it cold over in you guys' neck of the woods? You're a few hours away from him, but I don't know what it's like where you are.
Not really. I mean, it's like it was probably around like low 60s today. It's been windy. It's been really windy. Like we had a lot of wind Sunday and over the weekend. We had some rain too, Richard. You were talking about rain earlier.
Today. It's just cold, 45 degrees, and rain sucks. I used to have to run a route in it, and that was the worst because you just come back, even though you're not standing out in it. Some places you do, but you're going in and out, and you're in it, and you just can't get warm. So
you have a big raincoat on?
No, I don't. I rarely would wear coats, even when it's down. If it's 24 degrees, 23 degrees, and the wind's not blowing, I don't put a coat on. I might wear a vest, maybe, but that's it. People go, "What is wrong with you?" I'm busy. So
when you keep moving, you build heat.
On a little bit of an update on me for get a new wheel installed. on my hip. So looks like it's going to be the 23rd of March. So I am looking forward to that. I got a couple things that I'll be doing to get done with that. So how's
your eating regimen going?
On that, I'm hanging around pretty much every day is 5.4 A1C to 5.5. So it's not varying too much. I did find out that eating oatmeal is a big time no-no. I had a spike of 240 and I didn't even put sugar on it. So it was like...
What was it that was in the oatmeal that did that?
It's just oatmeal. That's all. I mean, literally the only thing I put on it when it was done was butter. And butter doesn't have any sugar. So... yeah, so that was...
You gotta live and learn here,
Yeah, it's like, we were just talking off air that I had a Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwich today. I do that every once in a while. I just don't feel like fixing anything else. Throw that in the microwave, blah, blah, blah. Add a little extra meat on it. I'm good all day. Holy crapper doodles. Normally, the other stuff I do is I'm only spiking 120, maybe 130. This was 175.
How were you feeling?
I feel just fine. I didn't notice any difference. Nothing was bugging me. But the surgeon was absolutely shocked that in 16 days from when I'd had my blood tested, I dropped my A1C an entire point. Nice. And just a smidge over 2 weeks. So they're going, And if you stay on the regiment, yeah, you're going to be fine. We're going to go ahead and schedule you again. Normally, we won't schedule you until you're down to 7.5. I was at 7.7, but everything was like 5 and 5.2 at that time because I got the kits and everything to snap the fingers. Ow, it's annoying. But
March 23rd, huh?
Yep. So it will be a Monday, March 23rd. So on the 24th, I probably won't be here. I'm
okay,
just
so
saying.
I will be subbing those times too as well.
Yeah, I'll bet Mike will be back with us by then. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've got, and I was thinking they were talking maybe the 2nd, but I think that time frame has elapsed. They haven't called me today, so I really seriously doubt there's too much stuff that has to be done in order to have that happen.
Yeah, my birthday is on the 1st of March, Sunday. Sunday, and I'm heading to a dance competition.
Oh, how nice.
For my daughter, yeah.
Yeah, I've got Jeff Dunham is coming into town. I bought us tickets about 5 months ago because you got to get them early. So we're looking forward to going to that. And then I'm going to go over to Oregon for a couple of days and see my daughter, son-in-law, and 2 grandsons, and we'll visit with them for a couple of days. So I've got that to do before I get laid up. So that's going to work out fine. Okay, let's see. My goodness, there's so many things going on. Did you watch any of the Olympics?
It's hit or miss. You know, I didn't watch a lot of it because, when I heard about the news about the being unpatriotic, all that stuff, I was just kind of
I had been watching a little bit, and when they want to diss the country that's paying for you to go over, you're entitled and you've been indoctrinated, and I really don't care.
I don't even care about all that, but I have a right to watch it or not watch it. I mean, this is my right. You know, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to go, this is BS. I'm just not going to watch it. I mean, that's what pretty much. I do other things.
I did want to see, I did see a little bit of the women's hockey team, and I cannot believe that both the women and the men's were playing Canada for the gold.
That's great.
They both went to overtime, and they both won in overtime.
Like a Disney movie.
Yeah, that's just crazy stuff right there. The men were so awesome, and they were so patriotic at the end of it, that they were so appreciative of everything, and it was really. I'm not a big hockey fan, but I did kind of enjoy the game. I watched half of it. I woke up in time and went, "Oh yeah, that's on today."
The men haven't won gold in hockey since 1980.
I know.
1980.
It has been a while. Okay.
Jack Hughes.
Yeah, we're just, and the 2 main ones that were complaining about America, neither one of them won gold in their respective deals.
Well, they got the heat put on them. They got the heat put on them.
It messed up their head. Yeah, the one finished 5th and was supposed to, the girl, and she was supposed to win a medal in the individual. She didn't even get on the stand, and the gentleman, Mr. Hess, he finished out of the top 10 and didn't even get to go in the final round, and he was supposed to have a medal. So,
well, you know, they made comments, you know, people were supporting Hunter Hess. They were supporting him and like, oh, you know, this is not right. You know, you shouldn't be treated this way. And China's Eileen Giu, Giu, I can't pronounce her name correctly, but the whole point of sport is to bring people together.
Yes.
Well, what the hell is he doing? He's not bringing people together by, I don't like my country.
Yeah. And it didn't
go
over
like
well
Trump,
for him.
You don't like Trump. But you live in this country.
Oh, you have the right to have freedom of speech. You can say what you want. However, you don't get freedom of choice on consequences because they just happen, and it is what it is.
Finishing 10th is not very good. I think you got you can tell 10. Whose minds are strong and whose are weak. Yep. And how come these people can't foresee the future a little bit? Well, if I say this might happen. Because when I have the most important things going on.
Correct. Their friends around them are all indoctrinated and they all say the same thing. So they just distracted themselves. Well, let's see if
Oh
we can
well.
get into a couple things here today. This is an ironic. This just absolutely cracked me up. This was so funny. It's New York City is requiring all this stuff, and let's just have somebody explain it to you, shall we? So let's listen in on this. Oops, hold on. I had to get the other thing up, and I forgot to move that down. There we go.
No.
Oh, I've already screwed up today. Oh no.
No.
New York City is supposedly getting a blizzard. You know what? As a New York City resident, I am going to do my civic duty because Mayor Mamdani has asked us all to pitch in and be emergency shovelers. And look, the pay starts at $19.14. Fantastic. Oh, I hope I'm eligible. I really want to do this. Okay, I am at least 18 years old. I am eligible to work in the United States. I am able to perform heavy physical labor. I'm actually underrated good at that. I mean, I can lift those Poland Spring cases like nobody's business. Okay, registration. To register for an appointment, workers must have 2 small photos, 1.5-inch square each. All right, so I'll just run over to CVS and get that done. 2 original forms of ID plus copies and a social security card. Let me repeat, 2 original forms of ID plus copies and a social security card to be a volunteer emergency snow shoveler in New York City. Tell me how then the Democratic Party, minus the brilliant John Fetterman, doesn't want people to show ID for voting. Can anyone explain that to me? I thought this was just rich. And you know what? As a New York City resident,
It started over and I didn't get that cut off. That just absolutely cracks me up. You can't, no ID to vote. No, that would be just horrible. Oh, you want to shovel snow for 19 bucks an hour?
$19.99.
But I did hear they couldn't get anybody to shovel for $19.
Wow,
So
that's too cheap.
it's too cheap. They bumped it up to 30. They were still having trouble because they weren't going to show ID and all that to just shovel snow.
It costs $19 to order a burger in New York.
I know, it's ridiculous, but it just, oh my Lord, that just cracks me up. It's like, are you kidding me?
Well, probably they're not hiring a lot of people because they got too much identification they got to provide to get the job.
They got to save it all. Well, I assume they can't take their own pictures and put it in I'm assuming it's for like a badge or a lanyard thing to have your picture on it, and if it flips around, it's on both sides. You got to bring your own lanyard picture? I have never done that.
Yes. Do you have to bring your own shovel?
That's a good point. I didn't.
Do you get one? Like, here you go, buddy. You filled it out.
Oh yeah, they got dumped on. They got almost in spots there 2 feet of snow.
Oh, my uncle sent us video, and it's like covering his door, the front of his house. It's ridiculous. He lives in Massachusetts, by the way.
Ah, yeah. Well, someone we know that's up there. All of a sudden, I forgot her name. She was in the VO Academy.
Richard.
I hate that when I go.
What, Mel?
And the file drawer goes. Well, Mel is in Pittsburgh. So.
Yeah. I don't know who's in Boston. Oh, it's anyway.
She does stuff on the radio.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And she just reads copy. Really, she does a fantastic job and stays pretty busy. She's a really good voiceover artist. And her name is
I don't know. I forget.
Oh Lordy. Yeah, I just thought
I'll remember later.
Yeah, I know it'll pop out. Meryl,
yeah.
There we go.
She's great.
Yeah.
Just, like people listening out there, I interact with so many people during the week, whether it's out and about or on social media. And it's just hard to keep track with everybody. It really is. And everybody has stuff going on too.
Oh, that's the other thing I didn't have was commercials. I have to get that found. See, I knew there was other. I'm sitting in here and I told the wife I'm going to go get everything set up and I'm going, I think I've got everything. Nope, I did not.
Be prepared. Remember that commercial? Be prepared.
And
Back in the
I are
70s?
not. I are not prepared.
Hey, you know what? This is what happens when I have to fill in. That's just all.
Well, it's not you, it's me. So we're not going to do this anymore. I'm just going to
slow
you. Oh, crapper doodles. I have that one.
What commercial are you gonna do? You gonna put the music in the background? This one?
I put it in on the other one. I did it in post because I still had the music that I used. All I had to do was drop it into the video. No big deal.
Yeah, perfect.
So, and I had all those from Mr. Tarnow sent them when he was out sick the last time, and I found them, and I was so excited. Now I don't remember where they are. Isn't that the way it goes? Okay, let's try this again here. Because we're going to need to go to break here in just a bit because our next segment's going to be a tad long and we're going to try to clip on through them.
Sounds good to me.
I am just befuddled here. Well, I'll do what I have for breaks. They're old stuff. They're not the best in the world, but they will work. Oh, items between segments and stuff.
Ooh,
I found the file. I found the file. Neener. Okay. Well, we're going to go on break. I don't know how close we are. I think we're getting fairly close. Let's do one more little segment here, and then we'll go on break. And I keep covering everything up. So now we've got SCOTUS and the tariffs ruling was 6-3. But Trump kind of does an end around, and the Dems only had 4 hours to celebrate, and it was a done did deal. They were back on that quick. So
it's like a temporary fix, right? It's not going to be it's not a forever fix.
But... No, it is a forever fix, basically. Oh, okay. And this gentleman that I found, I could explain it. I could put it, but you know what? When you got somebody else that's done a really good job of explaining it, why don't we listen to him?
Yeah.
This is going to blow your mind. Supreme Court rules. Trump responds immediately. Tariffs will stay. SCOTUS can't do anything. The tariff comeback is underway. Watch closely. A 6-3 decision sounds big. Mostly noise. Policy gets done. America first stays. Here's how. 3. Section 122. Quick 15% tariffs within days. Shoring up the balance of payments fast. Then Section 301. Duties that hammer unfair traders. Section 232 defends steel. Because security starts at home. Autos protected. Jobs protected. Chips safeguarded. Critical tech locked in. Section 338, the nuclear option. Up to 50% on discriminatory nations. Add import licenses. Choke off foreign junk at the source. Headlines scream. Markets listen. Refund fights. Years in the courts. Paper tigers don't move ports. Orders do. Ships do. Jobs do. America first stays on the field. While activists grandstand from the sidelines, policy beats posturing, every time. 1. Secure the core, steel, autos, chips, lock it in, build it here, paychecks up, pride up, supply chains, American made, victories on the horizon, tariffs remain, stronger, smarter, American. Section 122, 301, 232, 338, locked and loaded, the people's priorities, first in line. The comeback? Already moving. Reset. Rebuild. Win. Follow for the next move. America first. On offense. The left's war on Trump? Over before it started. Victory guaranteed. Follow at Newsmax.baby at Jonathan Gregory.
So that kind of explains, here's what it is. These are the things that are doing. He's putting a 10% tariff on stuff, and I don't think this one is terribly long. This is more on it. She's explaining what I found another lady that kind of goes into a little maybe simpler. So let's see what it's called. Cathytalk, and
that'd be good.
So let's talk about the shortest victory lap in Democrat history, where at 10 a.m., the Supreme Court ruled against Trump. Everybody was excited. And by 2 p.m., a whole new set of presidential powers and tariffs have gone into place. See, the Supreme Court blocked Trump from using Emergency Powers Act for tariffs. But then that's when the strategy just shifts. Previously, Trump was using tariffs as a strategic tool, as leverage and pressure, and a way to reset unfair trade relationships without hitting everyone equally. But if the emergency authority route is closed, now he moves into presidential trade authority. And that's where things get interesting, because under existing trade laws, a president still has significant power to impose across the board tariffs. He can adjust the rates and even restrict trade with specific nations if deemed necessary for national interest. And on top of that, any company hoping to recover costs from previously imposed tariffs are looking at years of litigation. In other words, your lawyers are going to be getting paid first. So what does this mean for the economy? It means we're moving from negotiation mode to sovereignty mode. Instead of adjusting trade imbalances country by country, it's going to be real simple. If you want access to the American market, you're going to pay to play. And that's a different philosophy. But the real question is not whether tariffs exist. It's whether we want America functioning as a dependent trade hub or as a sovereign industrial power capable of producing and competing on its own terms.
So that might be a little simpler, but it's like he could still do everything he was doing. It's just under a different auspices of things that have been being done for the last 150 plus years of the country. So the Dems are going, yeah, you guys struck down. Oh, wait, you didn't? Oh, crap.
Yeah. And it's like, so there's not a lot of variables in the tariffs, right? It's all across the board, like straight down the line.
Right now, that's where they're all just being so that they could get put back in quickly. Everything is 10%. And then he can go to individual countries who are abusing stuff, which would be, for instance, China sending stuff to Vietnam, saying it's from Vietnam and then sending it over. No, it's not from Vietnam. It came from you, folks. So... yeah, it's just was, if the Dems were just going nuts, they were going, ha ha, you can't wait, what? Mm-hmm. So it was a short lap. Okay, we've gone over, and we'll be right back in just a moment.
Stay connected with the show.
Our email address is soml@duck.com.
And if you'd like to listen to archived shows, you can do so at Spotify,
Apple,
Amazon,
iHeart,
or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Join the pink frilly tutus. Join the walkers, the joggers, the runners. Join the people remembering friends, family, loved ones.
Join the kids, the mothers, the grannies.
Join those who are living with cancer.
Join those who have beaten it.
Join the most fantastic day. Join the 5 and 10K events making a difference in the fight to beat cancer. Join the girls this summer at Tesco and Cancer Research UK's Race for Life. Join now. Find an event near you at raceforlife.org.
Okay. Those were short and brief, and back we are again.
That's the way I like it.
Yeah, I've got my other stuff here, so I'm finding things. Didn't have stuff set up for. Shame on me, because I don't do this all the time.
Well, you know, what's been the most complicated part of it? I mean, as far as like running the show.
Yeah, it's trying to keep up and still have a chit chat and keep up with all the clicks. Like last week, I went, I swear I had like 7 screens open, 7.
You did?
And I went, I've only got 4. Oh yeah, that stuff.
Yeah, you know, it's just a lot of multitasking. I mean, it's a lot. And
yeah, and when my brain's having 2 and 3 conversations in there at once, it makes it really difficult. Okay. I was having trouble trying to get my lines down for a Shakespeare show, and my youngest daughter one time told me, she goes, Dad, just tell them they have to go into timeout till the show's over. I went, sure, easy for you to say. Oh, God, if that's not a kid who understands her dad's brain. Wolfie. Anyway.
That's a great story, brother.
Yeah, it was, I was standing in a line and I was supposed to have a frown on my face. It was at a wedding and it was Much Ado About Nothing. And I was not happy standing there, and I was looking out on this campus that we were on doing the show. It was a Northwest Nazarene. I went to myself, I'm going, this is really a beautiful campus. This is really kind of nice. And all of a sudden, the talking stopped. And I went, I think that was my cue. And I finally did something and got back into it. Oh, it was a night where everything just went. So.
Oh, is it my line?
Yeah, so I jumped in where I was supposed to. And then later I was talking with the lead and we were making fun of Beatrice and chatting about stuff. And I turned and normally she would have, because it was like a half a block from where the dressing rooms and stuff were, to come all the way out on this campus to start speaking. I turned around. Not only was she wasn't at the entrance yet, she hadn't even left the building. And I went, well, here we go. And he was a drama teacher. And so we were ad-libbing Shakespeare. The audience was laughing. We were making fun of Beatrice, the whole stuff. And I would turn after I'd laugh. I'd kind of do a look over, still not coming. And the audience had no idea. What? You guys are ad-libbing? They had no clue. We did a great job, and neither one of us have a clue in hell what we said. But the audience was laughing. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And the funny part was seeing her finally come to the end, because we were talking about stuff and I'd just kind of roll my eyes and look off to see if she was coming yet. And here she finally came and her eyes were about this big and they were, her eyes were just saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It was like, we got
to go now.
Yeah. Carried on. And I was done and she was going to meet with him and I got to leave. So stuff that night there was more things that just went on, another busted line, and it was just stuff happens. So
it does.
In all the 40 shows I've been in, that's not even one of the worst. So
just makes you better for the next one.
You just learn to ad lib and just keep moving. I learned that one. Just keep talking and nobody will know. They don't have the script in their hands. They're not paying attention. Okay. Enough about me. I'm an actor. So this
what about
just
AOC?
cracked me up. Oh, AOC just got absolutely blasted by, the gentleman's name is Lee Trink, and he was so spot on. She was trying to make fun of Rubio's speech that he made, and I've seen all of his speech, and boy, they just went nuts, and it was a wonderful applause, and she's trying to put it down. It's like, look, you commie, stay away from things, will you? So let's hear what first you're going to hear AOC doing her dissing of stuff, and then he's going to go, he actually did a face palm. It's like, seriously?
Be happy?
She just can't, they want to keep pushing socialism, and somebody today I saw went,
called
what?
Negativism.
I know we're going to get to Mamdani again later, but it's like, what? A socialist regime is out of money? Why, that's never happened.
Print more.
Well, he can't even do that. He's inside the U.S. and it's not going to be possible. Seattle's about to have
us to shovel.
Yeah, Seattle's about to have the same problem, by the way. So anyway, here's AOC and the guy just ripping her up one side, down the other, and doing a wonderful job of it.
Marco Rubio's speech was a pure appeal to Western culture. But, I think it's also important to note how thin that foundation is.
Ignorance and arrogance are a toxic combination, but that's exactly what bobblehead AOC brought to Munich. This genius stood on a Western stage using Western tech, enjoying Western freedoms, and had the audacity to mock the West. She hears Marco Rubio praise Western civilization while she mocks Western culture with air quotes, calls it very thin. How breathtakingly privileged and hypocritical. Your entire existence is only possible by the accomplishments of Western civilization. Free market capitalism, democratic governance, the rule of law, property rights, independent courts, the idea that power has limits, individuals' rights, prosperity through merit, not birth. The West pioneered the systems that allowed a bartender from the Bronx to rise to the halls of Congress. The Industrial Revolution didn't just make factories, it changed the human condition. For thousands of years, people lived and died in squalor. The West created a middle class at unprecedented scale. America created entrepreneurial dynamism, the obsession with innovation, the ability to compete with nothing other than your grit and determination. America created consumer abundance like only the pharaohs enjoyed. Not created by bureaucrats, but by market incentives and unprecedented freedoms. After World War II, Europe went from rubble to economic miracles. America created a widespread standard of living that prior generations would consider opulence. What else? How about penicillin, the polio vaccine, and organ transplants? The steam engine, electricity, the telephone, the internet, jet engines, and industrial agriculture. The entire backbone of the world you live in today. Want more? How about Shakespeare, Dante, Cervantes, Mozart, Beethoven, Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Rembrandt, Van Gogh, Alfred Hitchcock, and The Godfather? Still seem thin? How about baseball, basketball, football, and even cricket? The Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Johnny Cash, Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Prince, and Elvis Presley. And if you want to play moral arbiter, it was England and the United States that led the movement to end and abolish slavery. So spare me the frickin' air quotes. You don't get to enjoy Western freedoms, Western medicine, Western technology, Western culture, Western prosperity, and then sneer at the West to sound cool in front of your socialist friends. That's not leadership, that's performative contempt. And if your best argument against Western civilization is air quotes, you weren't serious enough for Munich, and you for damn sure aren't serious enough for the presidency.
I don't know. I could have said it any better.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It doesn't make it's just like an act.
You're there in front of all the Western world leaders who are they're starting to pull away from the somebody called it the WEF. I went, the what? What is she do? The World Economic Forum. The WEF. Going, I've never heard that before. But at any rate, yeah, it's not working. It's pretty much collapsed. And the stuff with the things that are in New York, that was put in after World War II, all of a sudden names are just not hitting me today.
The bottom line is they just keep bashing on the country and bashing on a place that gives you everything that you need to excel.
And they think that socialism is the thing to do. It has never worked ever. I don't care what you call it. I don't care how you want to spin it. It has never and will never work. Pretty soon you run out of other people's money. Pretty soon somebody goes, I'm not busting my butt so he can set on his, which we're getting real close to.
Yeah, everybody can't be equal. There's going to be people that excel and there's going to be people that don't. That's just the way life is. That's just the way it is. Survival of the fittest. That's what it is. You got to stand. Life is hard. It's hard as hell.
Yeah.
But you got to work, and nobody's going to work.
We have the right to equal opportunity, not equal outcome, which is what they want. So what happens? It's what happened in
zombies.
I just watched the guy today that said, they wanted everything to be equal and we all became equally poor.
I'm okay with people being having more money than me. I'm okay with that. I don't care. Or they have more success. I still have lots of success. I still work hard. But
I had a good life. I enjoyed what I did. Industrial laundry is not anything glamorous. I enjoyed it. For me, that was the best thing that could have happened. I got to train people. I enjoy doing that. And it's one of those things where, with having a family when I was younger, did I want to sacrifice 20 hours plus? 12 to 14 hours a day was enough. Thank you, sacrifice. To be away from the family. But people don't understand that when they start these businesses, this big business, like it was just handed to them that size? It didn't happen that way.
Abracadabra. There it is.
Yeah. Wow. Isn't that amazing? I mean, Amazon started out as a book depository that they would make all kinds of things up, and they didn't have it all. You'd go to Amazon to buy a book on something at the time when it started. They started out of in Washington, out of Seattle. Right. And at the time I was living just outside of Portland. And so we got all their new commercials. They hadn't really gone national yet. They were working on it. And they just kept getting a little bigger and a little bigger. Well, hey, since we've done it with this, we can scale it up to do this. And that's people thinking about it and making things happen.
If you want growth, I mean, socialism is not going to be where it's at.
Capitalism has taken more people out of poverty than anything that's ever been invented or came up with in the world, period.
We can share, and you can give donations to charities and stuff like that, and help people out that way. But we don't have to be even Steven on a lot of things, because it's just going to kill everybody's drive.
Yep.
That's what AI is probably going to be doing here, no matter what. So.
Well, it's something different. As other things have come along, I'm sure that the buggy whip makers of the world, of the U.S. went, oh my God, there's not going to be any horses. What are we going to do for a job? Well, somebody's still making a few of them, but they're still around.
And AI is a great tool. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's a great tool.
I did that for a recent challenge. Mr. Tarnow, I was talking with him, seeing how he was doing. I said, would you mind making me a couple of storefronts? And he goes, I can do that. That won't take me long. And he said, it'll give me something to do. So he was happy to do that after he'd got home from the hospital. And there's that. And it was kind of fun for this fake furniture company. And it worked out really good. So... Anywho's okay. Yeah, it made me laugh to somebody to go, really? You're doing this? Well, here. And sat her down.
Yeah, but she gets, she gets checked all the time. And she just continues to do what she does.
She says stuff that she don't check. And so she just says it. And by the way, for her getting in trouble for her speech and what she was saying in the little forum she was holding court on, and she's blaming Trump, and it's like, he wasn't there. He had nothing to do with it.
I don't care.
The left can't do anything but point fingers like this. They can't go in front of a mirror and do that. They just can't. It's impossible for them.
Do you have anything to say left to say? I don't have anything left to say. Do you? Hell, Trump sucks.
That's it. It's like they have no policies, absolutely none right now. Not a single one other than we're not going to do that, which doesn't make any sense. All right. I was talking about Mamdani earlier.
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah. Well, he's got other problems.
Did they just recently shut down Times Square? To do,
I haven't heard that. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, with all
I saw that on Twitter the other day.
And it came to a screeching halt. So
yeah. I'd like to see, what do you guys think about that? If that's true, I mean, you never know with Twitter and X, but I did see it.
I haven't been on Twitter or X in a bit. I get on it, I see a bunch of things, and then I don't go back on it again. So I don't know.
Yeah. Amen.
Anyhow, this is Mamdani talking about his budget gap and how he says he's going to fix it. Is that the right one? Yes, this is from our friend. She's called the Salty Tattooed Mama one on Instagram, and she is always so dead on.
Hey, remember that time that I said this? Congratulations, New York. You just elected a man who promised that he was going to pay all your bills using the money from anyone who makes over $1 million a year. So before we fast forward to the oops, we're broke part of the story, and when that money walks out the door, the city is not going to be chasing the rich. It's going to be chasing you. Well, now we can fast forward to Mamdani saying this.
However, in order to get to this point of closing the gap on both this fiscal year and the next fiscal year, we are forced to raid the rainy day fund, the retiree health benefits trust reserve, and to increase property taxes across these other years.
Should we talk some numbers? So New York City is facing a projected $5.4 billion budget gap. The proposed 9.5 property tax increase would raise about $3.7 billion. So they also want to tap into the $980 million from the rainy day fund. And then they want to raid the $229 million from the retiree health trust. So let's talk about the millionaire math then. New York City has roughly 85,000 millionaires in it. And we're going to be generous here, and let's assume that they each make $2 million in taxable income. Taxable. So a 2% surcharge would generate about $3.4 billion from these people. And that sounds like a lot, except that gap is $5.4 billion. And that leaves roughly $2 billion still uncovered. So what happens when the math doesn't math? You widen the net. Property taxes, reserves, and retiree health benefits. I told y'all the bill would not stay at the top. And looky there. I was right. Enjoy your warmth of collective taxes, New York City. It's just fun. Have a day.
I love her. She always does it. She always does that. Have a day. She does a really good job of researching it all, and I'd seen it and I went, I like the way she says that, so I put her back on again. She does a terrific job.
This has just started.
Yeah,
he haven't even scratched the surface.
Nope, and it's already. And what's the first thing to do is go raid the trust for retirement pensions. Somebody's going to get cranky about that one. And rainy day fund, this is not a rainy day. You're not having an emergency. You just are spending too damn much money. But that's not the socialist, as he is, or the Democratic way is we need to just keep spending.
Yeah, keep spending and keep charging more taxes.
When it ain't there, you don't spend it. Idaho has always been one that has to balance the budget stuff. So, I mean, the lefties are just having issues left and right. There's talk.
What were people thinking, though, when they voted for him to be,
well,
elected?
They're lazy people that voted for him.
Yeah,
We're going to pay all your bills.
They realized, I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, he made promises.
He's a liar.
He made promises there was no way in hell he was going to meet. Soon as he was elected, he goes, well, I'm not sure we're going to be able to. He started backing off almost immediately.
And a lot of liars in politics. I mean, a lot of politicians are liars. I mean, but this guy lied about pretty much everything.
Oh, well, we're close to the end, and we got one more segment, so let's take a break now, and we'll see if we can get the last segment in on time. I don't know. All right, here we go. We'll be right back.
Have an opinion? Well, who doesn't?
You can email the show at soml@duck.com.
That's SOML as in stay off my lawn at duck as in quack.com.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
And I don't have sweeper music, so it's fine.
Keep it under the rug.
He's got some cryptic names for some of these spots that he sent me when he had his first surgery. So that's where these are coming from. And we're getting through them. We're doing well. Okay.
Doing pretty good.
This is something that's kind of near and dear to you and I's heart. Mr. Tarnow, does not watch much football. That is just not it. He asked me, he goes, so what do you watch when football isn't on? He already knows that's pretty much it. I love my football, mostly
I
college.
watch bowling and fights once football season's over.
Yeah. I was watching some of the Olympics and not much of that. So, okay. So we've got some stuff in the news with more. Yeah, Democrats, it's not working out for them. And this is in Chicagoland where they're the Bears faithful are PO'd and they're only going to be moving like 35, 40 minutes away.
It's
and they're
29
like,
miles.
oh, it's going, oh my Lord. So let's just hear a little bit about what's going on with that.
The Chicago Bears just did what nobody thought was possible. After more than 100 years in the Windy City, they're leaving. And they're my team. I live in Chicago. I've loved the Bears since I was born. But now they're gone and they're packing up and they're heading to Indiana, the land of the free. And the mayor of Chicago actually stood at a press conference and said they should stay because Chicago is in their name. It's like that wasn't a joke. That was his actual argument. Not lower taxes, not a better deal, not safer streets, just the name. You guys are about to see that clip and hear exactly what he said. And what comes next tells you everything about why the city is falling apart. Let's get into it. My name is Tom. I'm with the Daily Beltway, and I'm also a White House correspondent. And don't forget, we're a growing channel, so like, follow, and subscribe, and share this report. Now, here's how the mayor framed the situation when asked about the Bears potentially relocating. Listen carefully to what he chose to emphasize. Take a look.
Is my face straight? Okay. All right, keep a straight face here. The Bears belong in the city of Chicago. The Chicago Bears belong in the city of Chicago, right? And I've said repeatedly that the door is always open for conversations, Kevin Warren did call me yesterday. We didn't get a chance to connect, and I still firmly believe that their best position is in Chicago, and it's evidence. The evidence is clearly speaking for itself.
The evidence, what evidence? Like high crime, high taxes, that they're paying hundreds of millions of dollars a year in property taxes for their stadium. Even though they bring billions of dollars of revenue to Chicago, you guys still keep raising taxes on them because you're communists and you want free stuff for everybody. So his answer mattered, not because of the wording, but because of what was missing. No discussing of the tax structure, no breakdown of business costs, no acknowledgement of long-term safety perception downtown, like the crime everywhere. And whether people like it or not, those things factor into billion-dollar decisions. Illinois carries one of the highest property tax burdens in the country. Sales tax in Chicago sits above 10%, and corporate rates are significantly higher than neighboring Indiana. And owners for all these teams, they do the math. Investors do the math. But here's a public safety. Official numbers may show improvement year over year, and that's good, but perception lags behind the statistics. And again, Chicago's a crap hole. They can say better crime numbers, but I'm not safe going down. I don't go downtown unless my life depends on it, literally. And when I do go, my life does depend on my preparedness. And when headlines regularly highlight robberies, carjackings, and repeat offenders being let out to go do whatever, that shapes how fans feel about attending games. It shapes insurance costs, and it shapes risk assessments. And Indiana offered speed. Indiana offered lower taxes. Indiana offered a cleaner approval path. And that combination is powerful. But teams don't leave environments that feel stable and predictable. They leave when the long-term equation stops making sense. And this isn't just about one stadium. It's about the broader business climate of a city that has already watched corporations relocate in recent years, like Walgreens and McDonald's and a whole bunch of other ones. Citadel moved out of Chicago, one of the biggest investment firms ever. So let me ask you guys directly, comment rebuild if you think cities must cut taxes and prioritize safety to compete, or comment stay course if you believe the current path works. And if you're
So yeah, they are leaving, and what I have heard is they're going to be a covered stadium in Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana, my home.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome your Gary Bears. Not gonna be Chicago anymore. That's gonna be
No,
Gary Bears.
But it's like more of your
a dome. Come on, Chicago.
Yeah.
A dome. I know they want the Super Bowl, but like make it covered. You can uncover it. Come on.
What I saw a concept of, one end of it was open, so it'll still be cold in there.
Right, the field was open, right? Was the field open?
It was on the end of the dome that they had built, so that you would still get the cold air and all that stuff for that area.
I think it was Buffalo. I think Buffalo had that cover, and then they had the opening. But yeah, the snow, man. The games, the playoff games this year wouldn't have been the same without the weather.
They were playing on real grass. It looked like real players. So that was.
It's going to be safer for people to go.
Yeah, well, it's getting so spendy to go to a game that I don't know how anybody even affords it.
They're kind of like eliminating us as purchasers of tickets for games.
It's crazy. So you've got the Chicago Bears that are moving to Indiana because the taxes are better in Indiana, and they're just not willing to pay for it anymore. Now here's another problem. The Seahawks won the Super Bowl, but Paul Allen's wife, who is the primary owner of the company, it's put up for sale.
Yep, she's leaving.
Yeah, she's done. It's up for sale.
Way to go.
And there's talk of them leaving Seattle because they don't want to pay all the high taxes. The Seattle Seahawks, the Seahawks could go Lord knows where. Not anywhere in Washington, I'll tell you that.
Oklahoma Seahawks.
Yeah. Because they're not going to be going to Oregon either, because it ain't any better there.
Yeah.
So they're just messing with things, and the NFL is looking at doing something about the California's taxing situation when players go there to play a game in either LA, because there's only 2 places they play now. There's 3 teams, but only 2 places they play, and it's LA and San Francisco. And I mean, that's stupid that the winning quarterback had a $275,000 tax bill.
Yeah.
Oh, he won 180. No, he didn't.
Right.
Because they were there for 7 days, and how they tax, it's just absolutely insane. So had you heard that the Bears were going to be saying sayonara?
Yeah, I heard about it. My buddy's a big Bears fan, and it's kind of sad though. I mean, Chicago's got a lot of history. I mean, they're like one of the old. They're like one of the OG teams.
That's right, one of the originals with Green Bay.
So it's like you're moving somewhere different. You're going to be still called Chicago Bears. I love the Bears. I love the Bears. I think they're an exciting team this year. But
they were.
If they can't, there was talking about there's so many things you can do with the stadium over in Chicago. You can't do a lot of upgrades, and they want to upgrade, and they want to have all this different stuff, all these bells and whistles, and they're going to get it probably at a cheaper price moving to Gary, and it's only 29 miles away. It's not like a lot of the fans are like, I don't know why they're getting pissed because they're moving, but it's really not that much of a difference.
It's like moving to the other side of town.
You got to get a bigger stadium.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to be, everything's going to be more expensive. Well, everything is expensive. It doesn't matter what stadium you go to.
Was made that way the last 4 years of the Democratic echelon, and we're still paying for it. It's starting to come down. People go, oh, he was going to change it. It hasn't changed. It hasn't even, it's just barely been a year. Do you know how long does it take to undo all the garbage that it took 4 years to mess up?
They move out of Chicago.
Yeah.
It's going to be like Escape from Chicago, the new movie. It's going to be like Escape from New York.
Yeah. Well, New York and Chicago are starting to look the same. They've got piles and piles. They're almost 10 feet high piles of trash that's in New York. So
I want to take you there.
Okay. Well, we got lots of stuff on the SAVE Act here. So let's see what we can put together here for you.
They call it the SAVE Act, which is funny because it doesn't save anything. And it definitely doesn't save elections.
SAVE stands for Safeguard American Voter Eligibility, so I beg to differ because that's literally what it does.
And let's be clear about who this is actually targeting. It targets anyone who's changed their last name. You know, married women, divorced women, widows, people who did the most normal, legal, boring thing imaginable and updated their last name.
Let's talk about some myths versus facts, shall we? Myth, it requires a U.S. passport to vote. Fact, nope, only a photo ID is required at the polls. Myth, Deployed service members can't vote. Fact, wrong. Existing procedures for military voters remain intact. Myth, it's unconstitutional. It violates federal principles. Fact, the act aligns with the Constitution. Elections, naturalization, and amendments 15, 19, 24, and 26 all support it. Myth, married women with name changes can't vote. Fact, there are easy steps to register under a new name. Myth, voter ID requires proof of citizenship to vote. Fact, there are several accepted forms of ID, and proof of citizenship isn't a new barrier. At the end of the day, the women that are opposing this law are basically saying that women aren't capable of getting an ID. And honestly, you're starting to sound a little misogynistic. I did it. I changed my last name. I updated it when I got married. If rounding up your birth certificate or marriage license feels like too much work to exercise your right to vote, then don't. Many people paid a far higher price for your ability to participate in this democracy. Voting isn't supposed to be convenient. It's just supposed to matter.
I thought the way you're saying this, like this lady was this liberal that's going on there, and also, what is she doing? Saying nothing but the Democratic talking points.
Just making excuses for everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like,
yeah,
that's all lazy people. Let's not be lazy. Just be proactive and do what you need to do.
Did your wife have a problem going and voting after you guys got married?
No.
No, neither did mine. And we've been married 50 years. She had to do it 50 years ago.
Yeah, just did what we had to do.
Yeah, you go down, you take care of it. It's changed, and you got to get a new Social Security card number, blah, 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 all the
and if you don't,
number, just a new name on it, and you're done. It's not that big a deal.
If you don't know how to do it, then you just go, I have so much AI now and Google, you can just do a search, and it'll tell you what to do.
Yeah,
give you directions where to go.
I think
if you don't have $150 for a passport, maybe you shouldn't be voting. I don't know.
Absolutely, I totally agree. If you can't figure it out, I've got a clip, and the next one I'm going to cut it down. The way it starts is just kind of slow. I'll see if I can find the spot that I need. So I'll start it and then I'll move it along.
He's discussing and exploring legal options for a potential executive order with respect to voter ID. This is a common sense policy that nearly 90% of the country agrees with. You need an ID to go and purchase alcohol. You need an ID to go to the library and check out a book. And so the president thinks you should have an ID to vote in our nation's elections.
So
dum.
It's not difficult. They keep trying to fight it, but we have our mainstream media propaganda machine that's doing nothing but putting out garbage. And when you start hearing people say exactly what they heard on TV because somebody on TV said it, so it must be true.
I mean, this has been how it's been for a long time. Nothing's changed.
Nope.
You need an ID.
They are proposing in this so-called SAVE Act is like Jim Crow 2.0. They make it so hard to get any kind of voter ID.
I'm going to back it up just a little because that's where I wanted to be. I guessed pretty damn close.
You're like a DJ spinning your records.
I know. It's
and Chuck Schumer. He's been calling this Jim Crow 2.0 over and over. We dug into the archives, rewound the clock about 30 years, and found him singing a pretty different tune on voter ID in 1996. Take a listen.
One way to prove you're a bona fide person who can have a job is to ask for a driver's license and a Social Security card. This is an anti-fraud amendment.
What they are proposing in this so-called SAVE Act is like Jim Crow 2.0. They make it so hard to get any kind of voter ID that more than 20 million legitimate people, mainly poorer people and people of color, will not be able to vote under this law.
So poor people and people of color are too damn stupid to get an ID. Why don't he just, I mean, he might as well have said that. That's what he said.
He might as well have said that.
And that was him in 1996. It's just, you just need to have an ID. And now it's like, no, you don't need that. Wait a minute. You fold it right up your eyes.
But you do.
Yeah. But he has changed so much.
There's going to be guidelines to doing things, to voting in particular. So, I mean, we don't want it, like they said, they don't want it to be easy. But they're, they're not making it hard.
Let's see if I can.
You can't be asking that. You can't be asking that. Well, dadgummit, No, he's a lot like Joe Biden was in his last.
Oh, I'm getting.
Sadly enough, he helped him in that last race.
Ask for a driver's license and a Social
Security card. It must be right after check. Okay.
This is an anti-fraud amendment.
What they are proposing in this so-called SAVE Act is like Jim Crow 2.0. And they make it so hard to get any kind of voter ID that more than 20 million legitimate people, mainly poorer people and people of color, will not be able to vote under this law.
I'm hurting.
Hey, everybody, Tim Burchett. I saw where Mitch McConnell was blocking the SAVE Act this morning. I think it's partially just out of meanness. He doesn't like Trump, and Trump got him in office. Sadly enough, he helped him in that last race extensively. And that's one thing I value in this game is loyalty, and apparently he doesn't. But he's blocking the SAVE Act. Or is he? Is it him or a staff member? Because, as you know, he's a lot like Joe Biden was in his last few days in office, or last years in office, last 4 years really. His cognizant level is diminishing daily. You know, I'm always remembered we had a chairman of a committee, and I asked in committee. In our conference meeting, I asked how much money was in this bill, and she responded, "I don't know. Next question." And I said, "No. How much money is in this dadgum bill?" And his immediately staffers were like, "You can't be asking that. You can't be asking that." Well, dadgummit, this thing ain't supposed to be some retirement village. It's supposed to be the United States Congress.
So, Tim Burchett is from Tennessee, and that's just common sense. And he goes, "No, and I want to know what's in." Too many people, well, you can't ask that. What do you mean you can't ask it?
Right.
Yeah, so, you got rhinos and everything else that
traitors,
Democrats.
Trump backing up people, and then they turn their back on them.
Yeah, that part just kind of sucks with stuff. So,
integrity.
Oh, yep. Well, I don't know about you, but we've had enough of this stuff. That SAVE Act, the Dems got to do it, and I think Trump will be talking about it tonight, in the State of the Union address. And sometimes I watch it, sometimes I don't. What's that?
Of course he's going to talk about it. It's one of the hotter topics.
There are 50 Democrats not going. I'm just not going where he is. You sound like a 2-year-old. Grow up.
It's like, I'm going to watch it on TV, though.
Yeah. Whatever. That'll just mean more seats for the hockey players to sit in.
America.
Shoot. Well, after all this today, we need a palate cleanser, and we're back to Paul Harvey. This is Paul Harvey, the rest of the story, and it's kind of topical. You may not know who it is till you get to the end. So here's Paul Harvey.
The rest of the story. Dorothy and Ernie sat in the waiting area of the children's clinic. They were enduring the quiet anguish with which they were by now so familiar. After an interminable while, the doctor appeared in the doorway, ushered the parents of his young patient into his office. "The tests are finished?" asked Ernie. The doctor nodded. The doctor was not smiling. For a long, paralyzing moment, the doctor hesitated and then spoke in a calm, even tone. The little boy had been tested for everything imaginable, he said. One of those tests had come back positive, the test for cystic fibrosis. The prognosis was very bad. Little Scotty, then 8, would almost certainly not live to see 9. He had perhaps 6 months left. Dorothy and Ernie, stunned, refused to believe it. Surely there had been some mistake, they insisted. Maybe the test was somebody else's or just plain wrong. The doctor shook his head. Scotty had been tested twice, and with the same result. "I'm very, very sorry," he said. If it's any comfort, he added, the disease was unpreventable. Cystic fibrosis is inherited. Of course, that news bore a small irony in that Scotty had been adopted. Dorothy and Ernie had brought him home to Bowling Green, Ohio, when he was barely 6 weeks young. There had not been the slightest indication of any genetic disorder at that time, and then, at the age of 2, for no apparent reason, the child simply stopped growing. His frantic parents took him to a succession of children's medical centers. Exhaustive examinations were followed by various diagnoses and prescribed diets, but Scotty continued not to grow. And now he was 8 and sentenced to die. Even as Dorothy and Ernie remained determined to fight for their son's life, even when doctors at Boston's Children's Hospital revealed that indeed there had been a terrible mistake, that Scotty did not have cystic fibrosis after all. Even then, the youngster's condition continued to deteriorate. Schwachman's syndrome, the clinicians now called it, a rare malady involving the paralysis of intestinal tissue. In Scotty's case, about 2/3 of the intestine was paralyzed. The label made little difference, for such was the small boy's turn for the worse that physicians now had to implant a permanent feeding tube, one snaking its way from his stomach up through his esophagus and emerging from one nostril. Feeding periods during which Scotty was tethered to an IV stand lasted 6 hours every day. The rest of the time, the tube from his nose had to be taped out of the way behind one ear. Thus encumbered, little Scotty one day went to see his older sister ice skate. And the sight was so appealing, the frail boy begged to try skating himself. And he was permitted, and once he started, he never stopped. Over the years since, baffled physicians have sought to explain Scotty's miraculous recovery from Schwachman's syndrome. Some have suggested it was the exercise. Others, the brisk, bracing, invigorating ice rink atmosphere. We'll never know for sure. Televiewers worldwide watched Scott Hamilton, age 25, sweep the Olympics and the world's figure skating competitions with gold medals in each. His diminutive size made it appear as though his growth had been stunted at some time during his life. And that is so. For now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah, I'm going, well, who is this? I didn't know anything about it. It got to the end, and I went, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, wow.
In fact, he was on this year. He's 68 years old, still kicking.
Nice. Proved them all
pretty
wrong.
good. Yeah. You just never know how life's going to turn out if you don't give up, as you like to say, punch every day in the face.
Yep.
So
what we got to do, and life's a roller coaster. It's not always going to be good. There's going to be a lot of bad.
The bad times are not going to last forever.
Nope.
The good times aren't going to last forever. Just enjoy the ride and figure out how to get through the low spots, and you'll be back doing fine again. I've been all the way up and down all kinds of stuff. And
appreciate the good times, though, when you have them.
Be grateful, and I have a lot of gratitude on stuff. Well, I don't know about you. I had a good time, and thanks again, Brad, for coming and sitting in. It's so appreciated.
A little chaotic today, but we got it there.
Well,
we knocked it out.
You were busy, and then I messed up, and I forgot about I was already with that last. I don't do this very often, so.
That's all right.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. No, we won't. It'll be there, so I'm not worried about it.
I know your game.
Anyway, we hope you had fun like we did, and you can find us on Spotify, Apple, all these other places to get your podcast. And if that's just too difficult, just go to our good old website of StayOffMyLawn.us for all our past and present episodes.
It's all about common sense and fun.
Thanks again for watching, folks. Tell a friend, and we appreciate all of you tuning in every week. We will see you next week, and we're hoping that Mr. Tarnow's body lets him show up then as well. Well, we had fun, and hope you did too. The opinions heard here today are not those of anyone other than Mike and Richard. If it made you laugh, or go, or even, then we've done our job. Sort of. Well, mostly anyway. And if we made you think about things in a common sense manner, we welcome you to the club. And if it didn't, then just stay off my lawn. See you next time.